Today, on Be Something Wonderful, this video is a reality creation and manifesting game changer. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Powerful video today. And I want to talk about a subscriber's comment. She was also a client at one time, but she has some really powerful insights. She commented on the video, Create Your Ideal Reality, Dissolve Negative Conditions. I think it was yesterday's video or the video before. Both of the last two videos were related. This idea that the idea of negative conditions, the idea of negative energy, the idea of negative thoughts, the idea of illness, the idea of any of that, that's unlike the love of Source, unlike the perfection of Source, is not reality. So those changing thoughts and feelings, those changing conditions or forms are not reality. There's only one source, one reality. That's the God, that's the I am awareness behind all changing forms, whether it's thoughts and feelings or manifested physical conditions. She made this comment. It's powerful, and I want to unpack this because she really summarized and provided the key to reality creation and manifesting whatever you want. So, and here's what she said. Anything in my experience that denies the nature of God, the nature of that pure positive energy, the nature of what everything is made from, there's nothing else but God, is bogus belief in secondary causes. As Tom says, they must dissolve. God is, and God is manifest. Wow, I love this. Right? And she shows how she used this, right? How she invoked this powerful law of being, because it's a law of being. It's a law of I am. I am is complete divine perfection. You are made in God's image, and God doesn't make mistakes, right? So what's going on with those experiences of illnesses or negative or unwanted conditions or negative or unwanted thoughts and feelings? You're believing something. You're assuming something that's not true of your divine nature. That's not true of God, right? That's a powerful demonstration and definition of the true meaning of denial. Only what God creates, first cause, is real or reality. Everything else is an unreality. You could deny that outright. That's what she's doing here. I'm going to show you how she uses the powerful denial, not as resistance, not as rejecting anything, just saying that that's not reality. There's only one source, and I am Source. I am it. I am that I am. Connected and aligned and part of and made of that pure positive energy of Source. So let's hit it. She goes, I was experiencing conflict with a relative. 3 years, she says. It finally dawned on me. There's no conflict in the divine mind. Again, the divine mind of God, really the first manifestation of God, that beingness of God, of the isness of reality. It's only unity. There can't be conflict in unity. There can't be conflict in oneness. That's an attribute of duality. And there is no duality. There's only the oneness. She says here, it's a kingdom undivided. I love that, right? The next day, they contacted me for lunch. Powerful. 3 years of a conflict. The next day, they contacted her. Perfect alignment of heart and mind. You could even call it that anomalous burst of energy that we talked about in the teachings of Vadim Zeland and reality transurfing. Right? Her alignment with that, she's just invoking, denying any other reality. That conflict can't exist. Illness can't exist. Unwanted conditions can't exist. There's only one source. There's only that pure, powerful, divine mind. Conflict implies division and duality. There's only one unity in source of God. God can't be divided. Wherever God is at all, the whole of God must be, and all power and all knowing must be there, right? So you, as a divine center of God consciousness, which this subscriber really knows and gets and believes, she feels it and knows it, right? It's a conviction that she is a divine center of that divine mind and that all power, all knowing, all potentials running through her, right? You as a divine center of God consciousness means wherever you are at the all of God is. Wherever you are, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're experiencing, she gets that. So remember what Ernest Holmes says in Science of Mind, the Science of Mind. Back of all things, there's one unseen cause. All things, one unseen cause. Right? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Scripture says it. Right? The Lord, meaning law. In the Old Testament, the capital Lord means law, the law of being, the law of who you are. The only one law there is, the law of assumption, the law of assumption of you as God. I am that I am. I am who I am. Right? Remember, I'm that I am. I'm that one unity. I'm that one unseen cause. I'm that one divine mind. There's no other. So there's no other source, and I'm only a source of goodness. I'm only a source of perfection. I'm only a source of love and light. So anything that's not that can be denied outright because it's an unreality. So powerful. The one and only source and cause of the phenomena of life, the great I am and the isness of life. The unconditional love of life. That's why it's unconditional. It's only for life and more life. And it doesn't see any one life more important or less important or bigger or small than any other. That's unconditional love of source. I am the Lord and there is no other. I am source and there is no other. There is no God besides me. There's no cause besides me. There's no source besides me. So those conditions must dissolve. That condition of that conflict with her friends must dissolve. There's no reality to it. It's an unreality. Wow. Powerful. A belief in illness, a belief in disease or dis-ease, as they say, right? Conflict or evil implies a belief in more than one power or source or cause. And that's impossible. That's a belief in division or duality, right? And this is what Jesus says in Mark 3:25. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. In other words, there cannot be I am not. It's just I am. It's one unity, one wholeness. You can't divide up God or that unity or that divine mind, or it wouldn't be able to stand. The planets would start falling out of space, right? Things would start going crazy. More than one power would indicate a universe divided against itself. And this kind of a universe could not hold together, Ernest Holmes. Do you see it? It's the power and the love that holds that all together. It's the same power that beats your heart and pumps your blood, right? And gives you breath. There's only one infinity. There cannot be two infinities or else it wouldn't be infinity. It's a duality goes against the whole definition of infinity. There's only one infinity. It can't be two. One would be limited or relative to the other, and that's impossible. Now you're not in infinity. You're in something else. You're in division, right? You're in two powers. All change takes place within the one source, God I am. But the one must be changeless. For being one and only, it cannot change into anything else but itself. God can only change into God. That pure positive energy can only change into more pure positive energy. So what are you seeing? What are you recognizing? You must be creating that with a false belief, a false assumption. Something that you're creating in your mind that's not reality. Because God only changes into itself. It's only and always love. There's one source. She says here, the same subscriber, another friend told me she had clinical depression. And I love this, and I'm going to get back to this. She says a very important thing here. I was compassionate. In other words, I could see her for who she really is. Right? I didn't go down and see the depression. I stayed up there and saw who she really is. And then I realized there's no depression in divine love. Again, invoking the divine mind, the divine love, the oneness of God. It can't exist. Depression can't exist in that divine mind. Right? So she called me last night, happier than I've ever heard her. She joined a gym and was hiring a trainer and nutritionist. All that changed with her denying the reality of that clinical depression. It's not a reality. It's an unreality. She said that's the proper use of denial, invoking at the same time, invoking the law of being, the law of one. right? The law of that oneness of who you are. Very powerful. Remember, these were, for all intents and purposes, she's manifesting instantly with her recognition of her true nature. Immediate alignment of her heart and mind. An immediate burst of that anomalous burst of energy, but she's living in, remember, source is the energy. So you don't have to wait for an anomalous burst of energy. You are source. Invoke that. That's what she's doing. Her conviction. What she thinks and feels to be the truth of reality. That's conviction. Her and others and the divine nature as I am. It's her conviction that she's aligned to. That's the heart and mind. What she thinks and feels to be the truth of reality of her and others as the divine nature of I am. That's her conviction. Source energy, the divine mind and the love of God becomes her continuing and constant, hear this, anomalous burst of energy that reality transurfing talked about. She's aligned with that idea that she just denies anything unlike love, anything unlike God, anything unlike that divine nature from where she comes and of what she is made, and all of us, from where we all come and of which we are all made. She denies everything else. That provides that continuing, constant, anomalous burst of energy, or in other words, source energy. Right? Reality transurfing says this. It opens the conscious mind to sectors of the alternative space that lies at great distance from those that are currently realized materially. So you can manifest immediately is what Vadim Zeland's talking about. He's talking about that immediate alignment of heart and mind, but she has it just by her recognition of herself as source. Very powerful. So, in other words, what she constantly or what she consciously believes or thinks to be true in her mind is in perfect alignment with what she feels and knows to be true, the truth of God, the truth of that one reality, the truth of the divine mind in her heart. Mind and heart are perfectly aligned. Do you see it? What she believes to be true in her mind is in perfect alignment with what she feels and knows in her heart. Right? As Greg Braden says about conviction, certainty that comes from accepting what we think is true in our minds with what we feel is true in our hearts. That's what he's saying about conviction, right? This idea, it's certainty or belief, right? Firm belief or conviction. Certainty that comes from accepting what we think is true in our minds with what we feel is true in our hearts. What you think to be true, your thoughts, plus what you feel and know to be true in your heart. That emotion, in other words, thought plus emotion, source energy, is what you feel and know to be true in your heart. That's source energy. Equals alignment of your heart and mind. In other words, it equals feelings or beliefs of conviction or your assumption of who you really are. Do you see it? Thought plus emotion equals those feelings that Neville Goddard talks about. That feeling, that conviction deep within that it's done, that I'm aligned with my heart and mind. That's what the whole feeling, it's not an emotion. Remember what Neville Goddard said, I'm not talking about emotion, right? I'm talking about the acceptance of that conviction that it's done. Well, that's the acceptance, that's the conviction. It's that emotion of source energy. Your source, feeling and known to be true, plus your thoughts, what you think to be true, equals that conviction or those feelings and beliefs, that alignment of heart and mind. That's very powerful. Thought, your intention of what you want, plus the emotion, love or lack of love. Right? What do you, remember, there's only one emotion, source energy. And that's what this subscriber was getting at. Fear does not exist. Fear's an unreality. Doubt's an unreality. That's what she was denying. But if you don't deny it, you're believing in it. Right? If you're allowing it to be there, there's only the emotion of love. Right? Everything else is an unreality. So, and that equals the feeling, thought plus emotion of love equals the feeling or the belief or assumption or conviction. And you can either have the lack of love and have some sort of negative feeling or emotion or feeling or assumption or belief, or you can have what we call positive feelings. But remember, it's all source. You're still source, but either you're feeling the love of that source or you're feeling the lack of it. Do you see it? That's what the emotion is. But it's always source energy. So you're always really in conviction unless you're thinking that you're not. Because really, what is emotion? It's always source energy. Where can that lack come from then? The lack can only be a thought. Do you see it? There's no lack or fear in love. There's no fear in love. There's no lack in love. And there's only one emotion, that's source energy, pure positive energy of God. So where does that emotion of fear come from? Well, it can only be a thought put through a filter, right? It's that source energy put through a thought or a filter of lack that creates a feeling, a negative feeling or a negative sensation, right? Or feeling that you don't believe, or unbelief, right? It's that unbelief becomes a conviction in what you don't want, right? So love, fulfillment, truth, that's the one reality. Fear, lack, non-fulfillment is the unreality. And I want to point this out. Remember what she said, I was compassionate, when she was talking about this friend who's in depression. Remember what compassion is, and Greg Braden talks about this quite a bit. Compassion's rooted in the emotion of love. Compassion's rooted in source energy. It's rooted in your source. It's the great connector in the universal force that connects you to the infinite power and potential of your divine mind. That compassion, what is compassion? It's looking at others and yourself only through the eyes of source. It's the ability to feel without judgment. The ability to feel without condemnation. The ability to feel without bias. Right? Without judging things as good or bad, right or wrong, or without attachment. To feel love without attachment. To feel the real source energy without that fear. That's what compassion is. Right? It's seeing through source energy, right? It's the ability, it's feeling without fear. It's feeling without attachment. It's the true feeling of source, right? Seeing others for who they truly are, seeing yourself for who they truly are. Very powerful. In the Lost Gospel of Thomas, Jesus' lost teachings, when in verse 106, when you make the two one, you say mountains move away and it will move away. In other words, what two? When you make thought and feeling or thought and emotion one, the mountains move away, meaning you align your heart and mind. That's that anomalous burst of energy. You move, you quantum jump to the reality that you desire. You move to that reality that you want. It's not the mountain that moved, you moved within, right? You aligned your heart and mind, you aligned your thought and feeling, or in other words, your thought and emotion, right? When you unite thought and emotion through compassion into one single powerful force, you create reality and bend time and space. And that's what she did. Remember, thought plus that emotion of love, source energy, equals a feeling, right? So you shift realities to where the mountain is already moved, to where your friend was never depressed. Do you see it? Where her friend was never depressed. She moved to that reality. She shifted to that lifeline. She made the two one. She united her mind and heart by denying that there's that there can be negative conditions, that there can be a condition in the divine mind that's contrary to God. The house would not stand if that was true. Right? A house can't be divided. There can't be a negative source. There can't be evil. Right? So she united those. That's powerful. So remember, this subscriber is living in fulfillment, in the answer. In the end, it's done. She's living in that divine mind, knowing that whatever she wants, that it's already been, all her prayers have already been answered. That all her realities are within her right now. That she can move and see and perceive any one of them, anytime. That anything that's unlike what she desires, unlike God, or unlike that one pure positive energy, unlike source, is an unreality to her. She outright denies it. There's no source or cause. There's no other source of cause. There's no other God besides me. That's what Scripture says. And then in John 16, 23, 24, that famous passage, ask and you shall be given, right? Ask and you will receive. Well, there was a retranslated original Aramaic version. And the Aramaic version, whatever you ask the Father, it starts out the same. Whatever you ask the Father or source in my name, he will give you. Until now, in my name, in the name of I am. You asking as I am. In other words, you already knowing that you're fulfilled. You already knowing that you're source. You denying any other unreality and recognizing the one reality. Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. You haven't asked. You've been believing in those changing thoughts and feelings. You've been believing in those changing unwanted conditions as reality versus calling them out as a non-reality and invoking your place in that divine mind as a point of consciousness, as one with the Creator. I and the Father are one. Yes, the Father is greater. That divine mind is greater than you, but you're one with it. You have all power, right? And then it says you will receive that your joy may be full. In other words, fulfillment. Live in the answer, as Neville Goddard says, right? I am means it's done, right? Ask without hidden motive. This is what she did. Remember, she said, I was compassionate. That was a big statement she made. In other words, I wasn't judging. I wasn't judging it as good or bad or right or wrong. In fact, I was saying that depression's not possible. It doesn't exist. It's only an experience in reality. It's not reality. Right? So with compassion, and then be surrounded. This is the missing text, right? This is the sentence that was missing from the modern day Bible in John 16, 23, 24. This is the retranslated original Aramaic version. This is the sentence that was missing. Ask without hidden motive. It tells us how to ask, how to be it, how to recognize only the good or God in all conditions, in all thoughts and feelings, with compassion. Not judging anything as good or bad or right or wrong, or not being attached to the outcome. All of that, right? And be surrounded by your answer. In other words, live in the answer, like Neville Goddard said. Live in the end. Be enveloped by what you desire, right? Be surrounded and enveloped by what you desire, that your gladness may be full, that you feel that fulfillment all around you because you are fulfillment. So powerful. That was the missing text. Ask means I am that I am. There's only one source of good and fulfillment. There's no other. I think there's something going around. One of you asked the 20 words. This guy's name, I think, is Wesley Version. I think that's his name. And there was something about 20 words of these 20 words create wealth and abundance in 30 days or something like that. I'll talk about that in another video, maybe for the membership channel, and we'll really unpack that. But remember, that this whole idea, we've talked about this whole idea of affirmations and reprogramming the subconscious and all that. These words alone, these words, I am that I am, is all you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. or the 3 magic words, right? That Anderson talked about in his book, The 3 Magic Words. I am God, or I am Source. Those are all magic. You say those every day for 30 days, you're going to have abundance all over the place. Do you see it? You are Source. Where's the abundance coming from? It's not coming from the outside. It's not coming from those words. It's coming from your conviction in those words. Your conviction as God. It's not about, and I think they were talking about a magical frequency or a special frequency. You're the frequency of God. You're the frequency of Source. You're the highest frequency there ever is, was, or ever be. There's no other frequency than that. So guys, we'll get to that, right? There is no other. Be surrounded and enveloped by the one divine mind within which you are a conscious center. You're a conscious center, a self-aware center. I am awareness, a self-aware center in the divine mind of God, where there are only answers. There's no problems, there's no conflicts, there's no illness. Those are experiences for sure that you're having. And we're not saying that they're not real experiences to you, but they're not reality. They're not the true source. They're not source of anything. They are effects of whatever your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are. But they're not reality. Right? There are no problems, conflicts. That's what she's saying. There's only love and fulfillment. That's what she was invoking. Right? Ask without hidden motive, without attachment to the outcomes, without judgment. Ask with compassion, knowing that it's done. Deny non-fulfillment as a reality. See it as a non-reality. Deny non-fulfillment. Non-fulfillment is not a reality. There's only one. That's what she did. That's powerful. Really, guys, this video is a reality creation and manifesting game changer. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you Thank you for being with us. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our membership channel. There's a link below. And we just did a live stream on September 24th at 9 a.m. We have another live stream planned for October, right around Halloween. And that's going to be powerful. Send your questions out. That's going to be exclusively broadcast on the membership channel. We also have another video coming out likely today on the membership channel. Another powerful content there. Also, you can visit us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. And guys, just thank you for being here. You can always go to our website where all that information is there and more at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin coming from the studios of Be Something Wonderful in Las Vegas on this beautiful Sunday morning. We'll see you soon.